With the NBA playoffs in full swing, it is a busy weekend ahead in sports. CBS Sports national columnist Bill Reiter joins me now to break it all down. Bill, also the host of Reiter Than You. Bill, let's start with the NBA playoffs. Spurs Rockets, they're even at 1 apiece, but the Spurs lost point guard Tony Parker. Greg Popovich said you don't worry about it, you don't cry about it, but this is not good for them going forward.
No, it's not good, Dane. He's obviously a leader, and really, with all respect to Manu Ginobili, the last vestige of the old era of the Spurs, going back to Duncan and even David Robinson. But I'll say this, I have learned long ago to stop doubting Greg Popovich and what he's capable of.
Me too.
He's made me and some of my, right? He's made a lot of us look silly. So as much as it's a huge blow for the Spurs, Greg Popovich is still Greg Popovich. Kawhi Leonard is now, I think, a top 5 player in the NBA. They're still a very dangerous team.
All right, how about the Cavs? So they're taking on the Raptors tonight. They're up 2-0. They look fantastic, but Toronto is home. They've got home court. What do the Raptors need to do to get back into this series?
I'm going to go the opposite as with Greg Popovich and just wholly doubt the Raptors completely. I really think that they have very little chance in this series. I think we're seeing peak LeBron James. He's playing at a level, I guess we've seen this in the last 2 finals from LeBron.
Yeah.
But the way that he's performing, Dana, I just don't know what you do. And in today's NBA, and I'm not trying to disrespect DeMar DeRozan, but he doesn't shoot threes. He's been unable to attack the rim in this series the way he did in the regular season. Kyle Lowry, again, continues not to play at the level he needs to in the postseason. And that Toronto defense, which is pretty good, has not looked even remotely formidable against the Cavs offense. I mean, obviously they took this team to 6 last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, but at least so far, I think the Cavs, at least against Toronto, have very little to worry about.
And, you're talking about LeBron in the finals last year. That was against the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors right now, no issues with the Jazz. This is a Golden State team playing without its head coach, Steve Kerr, who's battling the complications from back surgery. I actually had a chance to talk to former Warriors assistant Luke Walton about the team without Kerr earlier this week. And he talked about it's just this mindset with them, that they're empowered as players to be in charge on the floor. And how is that serving them well now?
Yeah, it really has, and Luke would certainly know. I think he was something on the line of 39-4 last year when Kerr was sidelined. The fact is, I think Steve Kerr's absence, Dana, could have a huge impact if he were gone permanently a year or 2 down the road. But Luke Walton's absolutely right. This is a team, and I hate to use the term autopilot, but they can be on autopilot. They can have Mike Brown there, and they still maybe are better than any team we've seen except for a Michael Jordan team. Right now, Draymond Green's shooting 50% nearly on 3-pointers. Steph Curry's back to unanimous MVP form. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson's amazing. They're just so loaded and so good and so confident together, at least for now, even with their head coach out. I'm not sure who beats these guys.
And this may not be out there yet, but do we have any indication when Kerr may come back?
We don't. I've talked to some people around that organization in the Western Conference. Obviously, he won't be back this series. And depending on who you talk to, you get different answers. Some people think he'll try to gut it out and be back on the bench in the finals. And some people think, depending on what happens with his health, that it's possible we won't see him at all. And I know, Dana, some people are really worried this could cost him his career. It's a great big question mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to think that the team's still playing so well, as we were talking about without him, though. All right, let's go to baseball. The Red Sox and Orioles had a series at Fenway Park this week, and you heard a lot about the incidents in the stands as well as the feud that's going on between these two teams. Batters hit on both sides. Does Major League Baseball need to do something about this?
I think as it relates to what we're hearing, what Adam Jones experienced and some of the racist comments that have been thrown out, I think Major League Baseball has to do something and credit them and credit the fan who came forward and kicked out another fan in the game a couple days ago who used the N-word towards somebody in the stands. As it relates to on the field and Chris Sale throwing at Manny Machado and Matt Barnes last week throwing at Manny Machado, maybe I'm old school. I love it. I think actually Major League Baseball needs to show restraint here. Let these guys settle on the field. I talked to Dontrell Willis, the longtime pitcher, Jerry Harrison Jr., longtime major leaguer, and both these guys have told me the last couple days, you have to let baseball players settle on the field. Sometimes that means sliding hard into a guy like Machado did against Justin Pedroia. Sometimes that means throwing behind a guy like they did to Machado, and sometimes that means Machado coming up and hitting a 3-run home run as revenge. I think they should let baseball players settle it on the baseball field.
We appreciate the time, Bill. Thanks.
Thanks.